Ian Wharton from Complex Sports, and he is going to predict where some quarterbacks end up. He says that he thinks in 2022, Kirk Cousins will be the Browns quarterback. And what he points to is Cousins' familiarity with the extreme success Stefanski makes him an easy fit there. So he's going to say Kirk Cousins there. He also sees Baker Mayfield then ending up with the Washington football team, basically saying that, guys that are number one picks that have had some success are going to always find opportunities in the NFL. I don't know that I buy Kirk Cousins, but I'm with you. I think you kind of explore all the options if you're Andrew Berry.
Yeah, I think you have to explore all of the options. And even though stranger things have happened, and I think most people completely rule out any possibility of an Aaron Rodgers coming here, and it's probably super far-fetched. But, I mean, at least they would be remiss if they didn't at least make a phone call. But I think it's more likely that there is that sort of second tier of quarterbacks who might become available that they would have to keep an eye out for. And that does include the Kirk Cousins, the Jimmy Garoppolos, the Derek Carrs. I really like Derek Carr myself. Out of that group, he's the one that I think that I would pursue. But if you can get your hands on him. But, there is that group, even Matt Ryan and there's a few others that actually probably would be attainable. Whereas, Russell Wilson might not be. And Deshaun comes with so much baggage that they probably wouldn't go down that road. And Kirk Cousins is in the possibility group. But Aaron Rodgers, he's going to have a very short list of teams he wants to play for. And as of right now, I don't think the Browns are on it, but who knows? I mean, once again, and anything can happen at this point.
Yeah, and again, these things kind of tend to pop up. I mean, let's just look recent history. So the Rams traded for Matthew Stafford. Nobody had heard Matthew Stafford wanted to trade out of Detroit until they made the trade. 49ers trade up to number 3 to take a quarterback in Trey Lance. A couple years ago, the Titans acquire Ryan Tannehill. Quarterback trades tend to just kind of it's kind of almost the back chatter that they hear, and that's what you were referring to when you say Andrew Berry doing his due diligence, just to find out, is anybody willing to trade one of these quote unquote higher elite level or second tier guys that would be a substantial upgrade, correct?
Yeah, I mean, he has to. He absolutely has to. When your quarterback is coming off of a poor season, is 29-30, was 27th in the NFL in quarterback rating, pretty low down in QBR, very, very low on third down and fourth quarter and other key stats, 0 for 6 in pulling out game-winning drives. These all scream, you must look around. I mean, you just have to. Now, I think the reason why they said they fully expect Baker to be their quarterback is they do expect him to be better. They do expect him to have a better supporting cast and for things to function better with their passing game next year. And part of that might be because, when they do look out at the quarterback landscape, they see that it's not necessarily a good quarterback draft. And some of those quarterbacks that we're talking about, you don't know if they're going to be available. I mean, the Raiders might decide, whoever their new coach is and whoever their new GM is, that they are going to build this team around Derek Carr. And so therefore he's off the table. Same thing with Kirk Cousins. The Jimmy Garoppolo one is interesting because they do have a high draft pick, but I mean, we've seen other situations where a high draft pick has had to wait his turn. Aaron Rodgers was one of them, of course. He waited for 3 years behind Brett Favre. So, some of these guys might become available. Some of them might not. And then, of course, you do have the $18 million. So if you can't trade Baker Mayfield, and it might be hard to pull off a trade when he's coming off of a surgery, although it's not a major surgery and it's not to his throwing arm. So I think everybody can reasonably expect that he's going to be fine and that you're not going to have to worry about him from an injury standpoint or not being able to pass a physical. I think a trade can be made and you can have a contingency plan that it has to be based on him passing a physical or it can fall apart. But I think that they absolutely have to explore their options because, I mean, that's just what Andrew Berry is made of. He will do that at every single position on the football team.